This may shock you, but most neck pain often has nothing to do with your neck. That's why stretching, cracking, and massage may give temporary relief, but the pain keeps coming back. In this video, I'll show you why the root cause of your problems may actually be a hidden imbalance in your mid-back and shoulder blades that's secretly unevenly loading your neck and sparking your symptoms. I'll then help you build a simple 3-step personalized fix based on real scientific evidence that could completely change how your neck feels forever. First things first, to fix a problem, we first have to know what normal looks like. When it comes to the alignment of your shoulder blades, the top of your scapula should line up roughly with the T2 vertebra. This is around where that bony bump is on the back of your neck. The bottom of your shoulder blade should line up with T7, roughly halfway down your mid-back. The inner edge should sit vertically, if not a little bit upwardly rotated, and about 3 fingers or 3 inches from the middle of your spine. The scapula should hug your rib cage and not wing out or tilt forward like this. Proper scapular alignment ensures sufficient and proper distribution of stresses across your mid-back and your neck as you move throughout the day. However, if positioning becomes really bad any of these ways, you can have uneven distribution of stress and pain can eventually ensue. So how do you know if your neck pain is actually coming from your mid-back? Here's a simple test I use with my patients. First, I have them stand and move their head in all directions and note which movements cause pain or tightness. Next, they lay down and completely relax, and I move their head in that same direction. If the movement is now pain-free, it tells us something important. The problem isn't a stiff or stuck joint in the neck, because if the neck joint were the issue, it would hurt no matter who moved it. Instead, pain only shows up when they have to control the movement, meaning the neck is compensating for poor support from the mid-back and shoulder blades. Picture your body like a stack of blocks. If the blocks underneath are unstable, the top block has to twist and strain to stay balanced. That top block feels the pain, even though it's not the cause. Now there's 2 steps to perform this test on yourself. Slowly rotate your head left and right, flex forward and back, extend and side bend each way. Note which direction hurts or feels restricted. Step 2, take your shirt off and video yourself from behind. Move your shoulder blades forward and back, up and down to get a feel for where they're positioned on your back. Then notice if one looks like it's sitting in a different position than the normal alignment we covered earlier. Here's 4 real-life examples of my patients. Pay close attention to see if you're like any of them. If one shoulder blade is protracted or much further than 3 inches from your spine, that usually means weak rhomboids, the muscles that pull them back. Have an elevated scapula shrugged upwards towards your ears? That's often from overactive traps and a relatively weaker lower trap. Overly retracted scapula or downwardly rotated? This is often due to short or tight rhomboids or levator muscle and a weak serratus anterior. And if one is anteriorly tipped or lifted forward off the rib cage, you can often blame a stiff pec minor and again, relatively weaker lower traps. These common misalignments all create uneven mid-back tensioning, pulling on your neck bones and muscles like a misaligned pulley system. Over time, pain and stiffness and even headaches can be triggered. Once an imbalance is uncovered, step 2 is to reposition the shoulder blade back to a normal position. Then, we retest the prior painful head movements. If your pain is dramatically less now, you just confirmed a mid-back culprit to your neck pain. Patient 1 had a protracted scapula. Repositioning with slight retraction took his pain away. Patient 2 had an anteriorly tipped scapula. Pulling his shoulder blade back, a posterior tip removed his pain. Patient 3 had an elevated scapula. Pushing his hand down to the ground, dropping it back to a normal position, eliminated pain. Patient 4 had a retracted shoulder blade. Notice the overdeveloped rhomboid muscles. But if he drove his elbow forward to engage his serratus anterior and protract the shoulder blade, no pain with his prior triggering head movement. As you can see, identifying your imbalance is key. Now it's time for the corrective exercises. And remember, there's no one size fits all to treating this type of neck pain. You have to tailor it to your test results. We'll start with 2 targeted exercises for each imbalance, then wrap up with 1 universal drill. If you had a protracted shoulder blade from weak rhomboids, you're going to start with this bent over row and a lateral arm raise. To perform the lateral arm raise, start in a kneeling position on a bench. Push your hand hard into the bench and drive your free leg into the ground to create a stable starting position. Brace your core because our focus is on repositioning the shoulder blade back to a normal alignment. Begin the movement by retracting your shoulder blade. Pause for a brief moment before then raising your arms straight out to the side, ending in a 90-degree T position. Hold this alignment for 5 seconds before slowly returning to the start position. Then relax the shoulder blade and repeat. The 3 common mistakes I see with this exercise are excessive shrugging and over-engagement of the upper trap, moving into a V versus a T position, which focuses on the lats rather than the rhomboids and can often tip the shoulder joint forward excessively, or just moving from the arm without sufficient scapular retraction. So focus on initiating the movement with your scapula in, then the arm goes along for the ride. Now, if you don't have a bench, you can always lie flat on your stomach and perform the T position liftoff. Regardless of which variation you choose, I recommend most perform 2 sets of 8 to 10 reps, holding each rep for 5 seconds. Start with very lightweight, even 1-pound plates were brutally challenging.
Tapped out.
For Julius Maddox, who benches over 700 pounds. Exercise 2 will be bent over rows. Assume the exact same starting position as the lateral raise. Now, we're not doing this to build your lats, so going heavy with a faster tempo like a bodybuilder would is the wrong technique for our goals. Our focus is on retraction, so begin the movement at the shoulder blade. Pause for a brief moment before then performing the rest of the rowing motion by pulling your elbow towards your lower back. If you incorrectly shrug upwards or just focus on pulling with your arms, you'll take the emphasis away from the shoulder blade retraction and limit the effectiveness of this exercise. Perform 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. For those with an elevated scapula from tight or short upper traps and a weak lower trap, we're going to perform 1 soft tissue mobility exercise and 1 strength exercise. Now, if you have a friend willing to help you out, some light pressure into the upper trap can help temporarily relieve some tightness. But if you're by yourself, just lay on your back and place a small ball into your upper traps. Roll until you find a tender spot and try to relax for 60 seconds while you take deep breaths in and out. Research shows some soft tissue work calms down the nervous system and helps turn down pain. Once that sensitivity is lowered, that's when our following exercises that fix the problem become more effective. To strengthen the lower trap, lie face down with your arms in a Y position. Lift your arms and hold for 3 seconds. If done correctly, you'll feel a good burn eventually in your mid-back. Start with 2 sets of 8 to 10 reps and add light weight as you can to progress. For those with an overly retracted scapula, we need to mobilize the short and stiff rhomboids and strengthen the relatively weak serratus anterior. Take your ball and place it over the tight rhomboids between your spine and your scapula. After you find a spot that's pretty tender while rolling over a ball, pause and pump your arm up and down for 1 minute. Remember to try to relax and take slow, deep breaths. This is performing a tack and stretch technique, helping free up the rhomboids so the scapula can move out and upwards properly. Next, let's strengthen your serratus anterior that can help restore your needed shoulder blade upward rotation. Now, many people assume scapular push-ups or a push-up plus is the best way to strengthen this muscle. But this research study found that a punching motion was actually far superior. Now, depending on your equipment setup, I'll have people perform this exercise with either a band, cable machine, or a barbell performing the landmine press. If you have access to a barbell, start with it positioned in the front of your shoulder and slightly to the side. Now, if you just push the bar forward, you'll hit only your chest, deltoids, and triceps. So to focus on your shoulder blade, we're going to lock the elbow and twist into the motion. This punching action will shift our focus to scapular upward rotation and therefore restore our normal shoulder blade alignment. The same cues go for using a band or a cable machine. Focus on rotating your shoulder blade up and off your back as you twist and punch. Regardless of which variation you choose, perform 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions, and if done correctly with a pause at the end position, you should feel the muscles around your shoulder blade working after a few reps. Now, if you have an anterior tilt, it's usually from a tight pec minor, so we're going to again mobilize and pair it with a strengthening exercise. The most simple way to address this area is by placing a ball against a wall and rolling your chest until you find any stiff or tender areas, pausing and taking deep breaths in and out for 1 minute if you find any. Next, we need to strengthen the lower traps, which help posteriorly tip the shoulder blade back to its normal alignment. You can either perform the Y liftoff we discussed earlier, or try this variation. Clasp your hands behind your head and lift your elbows as high off the ground as possible. If it feels too easy, you can add a resistance band loop around your elbows and then wrap them around the bench to increase the difficulty of the movement. Regardless of which you choose, I recommend performing 2 to 3 sets of 10 repetitions, holding the end position for 3 seconds. With our imbalances now corrected, now comes step 3, our coordination drill. You're going to perform a reposition and move drill where you move into your corrected scapular position and then perform head movements that used to be painful. The goal here is to disconnect neck muscles that are overactive from postural stabilizers of your mid-back. For protracted scapulas, pull a band tight, emphasizing retraction of your shoulder blades first. Once you feel your mid-back muscles engage, then move your head in all directions. Then relax the band. If one shoulder is elevated, push your hand down to the ground. You may feel your lat and your lower trap muscle engage. Then perform your head movements. For those that are too retracted, push your elbow forward to protract the scapula first before then moving your head. And for those anteriorly tipped, perform a single arm banded external rotation. While this exercise is great for your shoulder rotator cuff muscles, it also activates the lower trap as well and can help posteriorly tip the shoulder blade back to its normal position. If you moved correctly into the right position for your body, you should notice your neck pain is dramatically less or completely eliminated when you now move your head. Each head movement sequence will count as 1 repetition. Relax, rest, and perform 10 total reps. Performing this a few times a day can help retrain proper posture and movement control. There you have it, a fresh take on neck pain by focusing on the foundation at your mid-back that most people completely ignore. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel for more videos on how to learn how to stay pain-free and strong for the rest of your life. Until the next one, guys, see you then.